Hey guys, Derek here. Welcome back to the channel. We are back to watch the Season 1 finale of House of the Dragon. This episode is called The Black Queen. It feels kind of weird to be at the season finale already and not have more House of the Dragon or Rings of Power for like another year at minimum. So it's going to be like probably almost 2 years by the time the next season of these shows come out. So it's gonna feel super weird just like not having these shows. I mean, freaking Wheel of Time's gonna have to come back ASAP. But no, I'm very excited to jump into the finale. Last time was a very intense episode with the Green Council enacting all their plans to really usurp the throne. And it ended with the coronation of Aegon as king. And Rhaenys busting through the floor. She could have killed them all. She could have ended the war pretty much before it starts. But she chooses not to, out of the fact that, like, she's a mom and she doesn't want to kill another mom's kids just like her kids died. And really, it's not her war as far as she's concerned. So she's just not going to kill anyone at the moment. And she's gonna bail. But she is going to warn Rhaenyra that the Green Council wants her dead, and this is truly what's going to kick off the war. I assume someone will die in this episode based on the trailer that we saw last time. There's going to be a fight between two dragons. I think in the trailer it was Vhagar and whichever one Luke's dragon is. So it's going to be Luke versus Aemond, and I doubt that Aemond loses. You know, he's too cool. So we're gonna see what happens. So before we jump into this finale, if you end up enjoying my reaction, please leave a like on the video. That means a lot to me and it helps my channel out a ton. If you are new here or you find yourself coming back often, hit subscribe, ring the bell so you're notified when I upload, especially if you want to see me react to more fantasy type shows and movies, because I'll be checking out pretty much all the big ones that come out. I love this genre. And then if you want to see the full uncut version of this reaction, that is linked in the description below. I post full uncuts for everything I watch over on Patreon. So if you're interested in that, consider supporting me. But otherwise, let's jump into the season finale of House of the Dragon.
I was frightened. I was 4 and 10.
14, brother.
I wasn't ready to be Queen of the Seven Kingdoms.
Facts.
But
Facts.
it was my duty.
Rhaenyra was not ready.
Not so
Callous?
perfect.
Ooh, I mean, she's not perfect. I mean, she definitely is, for real. I mean, look at her, but she's done some unperfect things. Imperfect.
My father looked after me and helped to prepare me for my duties. Your mother will do the same for you.
Good morrow, Princess.
Good morrow. She strolls in wearing armor, and they're gonna be like, what is happening?
Viserys is dead.
Dang. Straight to it.
My cousin. Your
Both
father
her and Daemon just turn like
possessed a kind
shocked.
heart.
She's like, oh frick, I'm queen.
Aegon has been crowned as his successor.
Ooh, don't have a miscarriage right now, please.
That whore of a queen murdered my brother and stole his throne, and you could have burnt more, friend.
She could have. She could have.
But that war is not mine to begin. I only rushed this warning to you out of loyalty to my husband and to my house. The Greens are coming for you, Rhaenyra. And for your children.
She's like, you can start this war yourself. I'm not being part of it. Oh, God. She's like going into labor right now. Oh, snap, she is. Like Foley styles. Oh, that's not good. She's gonna have a baby and then go right to war.
Mother?
Oh, fuck.
Oh, she's struggling.
Aegon has been crowned king.
What is to be done about it?
Nothing yet.
And where is Daemon?
I don't know. Whatever claim remains to me, you are now its heir.
Yep. It's not just
Naught
her.
is to be done, but by
It's
my
him as well.
command.
He is next in line after her. So theoretically, like, if she is to die in childbirth right now, he's king, as far as they're concerned.
A raven flew in this morning. The sea snake's fever is broken and he has left even form.
Oh, he's alive.
You swore an oath as knights of the King's Guard.
As do all who wear the white cloak, my prince.
To whom? So I'm presenting you with a choice.
Either continue to serve or die.
Swear anew your oath to Rhaenyra as your queen. To Prince Jacaerys as the heir to the Iron Throne. Or, if you support the usurper, speak it now. And you will have a clean and honorable death.
Our dragon is feeling it too.
Princess, let us help you.
You should not do this alone, princess.
Let us help you.
Ooh. Ooh. Oh, what a gangster, honestly. She's an absolute gangster. But that baby, I think, is dead. Should have been in the room, buddy. It wouldn't have changed anything, but probably should have been there for your wife. Oh, and she is doing that herself, too. It's awful. That's tough. That's tough. Oh, this is the shot from the trailer. He has the crown.
I swear to ward the Queen.
Dang right,
Give my
dude.
blood for hers.
What a goat. What a goat, honestly.
I shall take no wife,
Reaffirming
hold
his
no lands.
oath to the ruler. Damn straight. It's like real now.
My queen.
I don't know why I'm about to cry right now. Oh man. Oh. Let's go. Let's go, Rhaenyra. Wow. That's like a season ending type shot. Like that's the type of scene you could end on previously. God, what a gangster, honestly. She's so cool. The fact that she's going like immediately from miscarrying her child to now leading a war effort is insane.
Lady of the Seven Kingdoms and protector of the realm.
What is our standing?
We have 30 knights, 100 crossbow men, and 300 men-at-arms. Dragonstone is relatively easy to defend, but as an instrument of conquest, our army leaves a lot to be desired.
Lord Grover is fickle and easily swayed. He will need to be convinced of the strength of our position.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to treat with him myself.
What of Storm's End and Winterfell?
There has never lived a Stark who forgot an oath, and with House Stark, the North will follow.
Damn right.
The Riverlands are essential, Your Grace.
Pray forgive my bluntness, Your Grace, but talk of men is moot. Your cause owns a power that has not been seen in this world since the days of old Valyria.
Dragons.
The Greens have dragons.
They have
as
3
well.
adults, by my count. We have Cyrax, Caraxes, and Melis. Your sons have...
She's like, interesting, you added me to that list.
Your Grace, a ship has been sighted offshore. A lone galleon flying a banner of a 3-headed green dragon.
Alert the watchtowers.
Oh, that's
sight the
not
skies.
good. We don't like them. Daemon's he's kind of taking control of that meeting a little bit. I mean, he is the one that has the military and battle experience, but at the same time, Rhaenyra is queen.
I come at the behest of the Dowager Queen Alicent, mother of King Aegon, second of his name, Lord and Protector of the Seven Kingdoms. Where is the princess?
The queen is right there. Cook them. Say Dracarys and cook these fools. She's like, you see this crown on my head?
Princess Rhaenyra.
Means I'm the goddamn queen.
Acknowledge Aegon as king and swear obeisance before the Iron Throne. In exchange, His Grace will confirm your possession of Dragonstone.
I would rather feed my sons to the dragons than have them carry shields and cups. For your drunken usurper cunt of a king.
You are no more hand than Aegon is king. Fucking traitor.
Dang straight. Dang straight. It's the page from the book that she tore out when they were kids.
Queen Alicent has not forgotten the love you once had for each other. No blood need be spilled. The realm can carry on in peace.
Nah.
Let's end this mummer's farce. Sir Eric, bring me Lord Hightower so I may take the pleasure myself.
King's Landing will have my answer on the morrow. I do not wish to rule over a kingdom of ash and bone.
Are you considering the High Tower's terms, Your Grace?
My father's dead. And he chose me as his successor.
Not you, Daemon.
To defend the realm, not cast it headlong into war.
The enemy have declared war. What are you going to do about it?
Clear the room.
See, Daemon is taking this as not just an affront on Rhaenyra, but an affront on his brother, an affront on himself. He's committed to going to war. And he'll go to war probably without her blessing anyway.
Are you not angry?
Well, I should declare war because I'm angry.
No, because it's your duty as queen to crush rebellion.
You know my oath reaches beyond our personal ambitions. A song of ice and fire.
Okay, so he's aware of the oath.
What?
Oh, or is he not aware?
The Conqueror's dream. Sarah shared it with me when he named me heir.
Brother?
My brother was a slave to his omens and portents. Dreams didn't make us kings. Dragons did.
Brother, you best step back before she has you murdered.
I never told you.
He was never even considered for the succession. I think that was a little outburst of anger from him there. Just one final angry moment about not being chosen for heir.
We lost Corlys. We.
Facts. You're a family.
Your brother is also dead. He stood before the king and denounced Laenor's sons as illegitimate.
Yep.
Daemon took his head for it.
Daemon cut him in half.
Our pursuit of the Iron Throne is at an end.
Almost.
Every man standing round the painted table urges her to plunge the realm into war. Rhaenyra is the only one who's demonstrated restraint.
Safety of his castle doesn't make it
The Lord
any
of the
less
Tides,
true.
Lord Corlys Velaryon, and his wife, the Princess Rhaenys Targaryen.
Dang. A lot less glamorous of an entrance compared to the wedding.
Your father's realm was one of justice and honor. Our houses are bound by common blood and common cause. This Hightower treason cannot stand.
Dang straight.
You have the full support of our fleet and house. Your Grace.
That's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up. Give him a hug. Give that guy a hug.
You honor me, Lord Corlys.
You should tell them you didn't actually kill their kid. That might change things, but I think they deserve to know.
Consequence of my near demise in the Stepstones is that we now control them. I took care to fully garrison the territory this time.
Dang, son. He's like, I've been
triarchy
gone, but
had
I
been
was
routed.
doing work.
The narrow sea is ours.
That's substantial.
I should take Naelise and patrol the gullet myself.
When we drain the narrow sea.
Dragons can fly faster than ravens, and they're more convincing.
True facts. True facts.
Send us.
Who's going where, though? That's the question.
Prince Jacaerys will fly north. First to the Eyrie to see my mother's cousin, the Lady Jane Arryn, and then to Winterfell to treat with Lord Cragan Stark for the support of the North. Prince Lucerys will fly south to Storm's End and treat with Lord Boros Baratheon.
Oh, the wheels of war slowly start to turning.
Cregan Stark is close to your age than to mine. I would hope that as men, we can find some common interest.
I heard Cregan Stark is pretty cool.
Lord Boros is an eternally proud man. You'll be honored to host a prince of the realm.
I like how she's like reassuring her kids right now. Like, you can do it. The little pinky rub.
Go to it then.
Get to work. Look how small he is. It's probably a pretty big dragon, eh? Yeah, that's a hefty, actually hefty boy. It's got sharp looking teeth too. Wow. I would be pissing my pants. Hey guys. What's up? Ooh, Aemond is already here. Aemond. I always forget the D at the end.
Son of Princess Rhaenyra Targaryen.
What's up? God, he's so cool. Read it yourself, punk.
Where's the bloody maester?
Oh, he doesn't know how to read. Got him.
Remind me of my father's oath.
Yes.
King Aegon at least came with an offer. If I do as your mother bids, which one of my daughters will you wed?
None of them? He is already betrothed.
I'm not free to marry.
Wait!
What happens when you dissent?
My lord Strong.
Aemond?
I want you to put out your eye. It's payment for mine.
You already called it even Stevens with the dragon.
No.
Give me your eye, or I will take it, bastard! Not in my hall! I'll not have blood shed beneath my roof. Take Prince Lucerys back to his dragon.
So it's gonna happen outside. you need to run. You need to get the frick out of here as soon as humanly possible. You need to haul ass. Trying to get above the storm. Oh, it's so big. Oh no. Get small. Just chill in there. Chill in there. Just plant your dragon. Hide under a rock. How can you even hear each other? Oh. Oh, the dragon is the one that wants the fight.
Vhagar, no! Don't! Serve me, Vhagar, no!
Finally. About to get eaten though. Oh, snap. Oh my god. He just started a war on accident. The two dragons defied their riders. Holy cow. Oh. Oh, man. Oh. Oh. Frick, dude. Holy cow. What a finale. Oh, man. That finale. This show is so good. And I think from this point on, we are going to see a very different Rhaenyra Targaryen. They talked about in the after episode just the effects that all of this is going to have on her, and it's going to be wild to see. But let's talk about the episode as it goes on, right? So it opens. This episode opens with her talking to Lucerys and essentially being like, hey, I'm gonna be here to help you through this. Like, you're afraid of the future, you're afraid of becoming the man that you need to be, essentially. You're afraid of the future that is to come and your responsibilities in that future. I will be there for you to help carry you through this, right? Like, you're not alone in this. She's very much being a loving mother to him, and the fact that they open with that and then close with what happens is, oh, that's heartbreaking. But then Rhaenys shows up and she lets him know. She's like, King is dead. Alicent has claimed the throne, and just seeing the immediate reaction of both Daemon and Rhaenyra is, oh, it's so moving, because like Daemon is immediately like, he treats it like he has a moment where he is, you know, shocked and heartbroken over the loss of his brother, right? And then he immediately wants to know, how did he die? Like, he assumes they killed him, which, I mean, they might have. There is theories that they poisoned him in his sleep, and, you know, all this, all that. I think we saw, like, we can say that he died in his sleep, but there could have been more behind it. But Daemon is very much of the belief of, like, this is a wrong that needs righted. It's time to go to war. Like he is treating them claiming the throne as an act of war in itself, right? So while this whole episode, Rhaenyra is kind of trying to show restraint and show some semblance of peace and restraint, that they can maybe hold the realm together. Daemon is essentially considering that the war has already started, right? And he's preparing to go to war. Meanwhile, as he's preparing, Rhaenyra is having a miscarriage, right? Because she's pregnant, and they talked about how in the after episode how her whole life she's been waiting for this moment, right? She's been not necessarily like eagerly waiting for this moment, but she's been waiting for the moment where they tell her, your father's dead, you're the queen now. And at the same time as this moment is happening, she is fighting against the very thing that she has not wanted this entire time, right? Where she didn't want to become her mother, you know, from episode 1, right? Where she's talking about how she doesn't want to be on that battlefield, the battlefield of childbirth, right? And in the most important moment of her life, that's where she finds herself, is on this battlefield, and it just is the exact wrong place that she does not want to be. And it is rough. You know, the war is starting without her, essentially, is what they said, where she is stuck in her room trying to, you know, have this baby that's super early. Like, you know, maybe in modern times we can make it so this baby lives, but like in Game of Thrones era, like this baby's gonzo. It's not gonna live. I don't know if we needed to see that baby. But she's passing this baby. Meanwhile, everyone around her is starting to prepare for war. They're counting their men. They're assembling supporters and checking on banners and getting ready to send ravens. And it's just like this awful moment, because like Rhaenyra, the one who's actually supposed to be in control, has to sit there and essentially watch this whole thing unfold without her, even though she is the one that's supposed to be making these decisions. And then she has to have a funeral for her unborn child, and they drew direct comparisons to episode 1, right? When her father has to hold a funeral for her mother and his unborn child, and they very much drew the comparison that, you know, before she was Rhaenyra, and now in a sense she has become her father, and that plays out not just in this direct moment, but in the moments where she's trying to hold the realm together instead of going to war. Like she has those bits of Daemon in her, you know, that a little bit of that rebellious punk rock mentality that they said, but at the same time, when it comes to the things that she is responsible for, like the kingdom, she is very much going about it more so in a thought process similar to her father's, where the more important thing for her is keeping the realm together and maintaining some semblance of peace. Meanwhile, Daemon, totally fine with a little bit of bloodshed. But she, like we hear her descendant 150 years later say, she does not want to rule over a kingdom of ash and bone. And as her descendant Daenerys eventually ends up torching the realm, you know, we're very much, I believe, going to see Rhaenyra shift perspectives and be a lot more bloodthirsty going forward, especially due to the end of the episode. But they did talk about how in her lowest moment, right, the funeral of her unborn child, it also turns into her highest moment, where when she feels like no one is going to is gonna be on her side, she is crowned queen. And weirdly, like that moment made me weirdly emotional. Like when they're all kneeling to her, I was like, whoo, whoo. Like, I've been rooting for her this whole time, right? I think they clearly made her a lot more sympathetic than, I guess, what she is in the books. Not that she's like an awful person in the books, but I think both her and Alicent in the book are portrayed to be a little bit more, or a little bit less sympathetic than they are in the show. So like seeing her, after everything she's gone through this season, being crowned queen was a little bit emotional for me. And then yeah, the whole preparing for war scene, like Daemon is almost taking control, right? He is, I mean, he has military experience, he has fighting experience, both as just like his years of fighting in the Stepstones, his years in the City Watch, you know, he has plenty of experience doing this sort of thing, and Rhaenyra is very much new to the situation, right? She has to step into this room. Yeah, she's the queen, but she has to step into the room as a woman and now rule and give direction over a room full of men, probably essentially for the first time ever. Like, these men are not used to having their actions dictated by a woman, and so it's very awkward in a sense, because she's trying to go about this, but at the same time, like, Daemon is kind of taking control of the situation and being like, we're going to war. And she's trying to hold it together, and it's not quite working as well. We have the whole confrontation on the bridge where Otto shows up and he's like, yo, yeah, you know, if you say that Aegon is king, we'll give you all this stuff, we won't kill you, like, you can be free, essentially, you can have this spot, just give up the throne. And it's an interesting proposal, honestly, and one that I think Rhaenyra, I mean, she at least considers it, right? Like, she's thinking of considering it. And Daemon, I think Daemon would very much go to war regardless, right? He would, you know, they have that disagreement within their marriage, and I think he would, because he sees this not just as an affront to her, but he sees this as an insult to him and his brother, like the memory of his brother, right? Like, this is not just, you know, well, as much as it is, you know, an insult to Rhaenyra, and he's very much a Will Smith in this situation where he's like, keep my wife's name out your mouth. Part of the reason he feels insulted does come from the sense of, you know, how men treat women in this era, where even if she is queen, the fact that they're married, he inherently feels a tiny bit of sense of ownership over her. And so this insult against her is in itself an insult against him. Couple that with it being an insult against his brother, and, you know, an insult against your brother is an insult against you. So he very much probably feels like all of this is as much an insult on the Targaryens as a whole and himself as it is Rhaenyra, and so he would definitely go to war regardless, I think. Like, this is just too much for him. And they have a confrontation where he chokes her. I think a lot of people are going to be upset about that, because Daemon has kind of, I mean, I don't think that's in the books from what I heard. Yeah, just judging based on some of the tweets in response to this episode, I don't think Daemon choking her is in the book. But it's very interesting because, again, like, I think he's struggling with not being the one that is making the decisions because he's angry. He's angry about this whole situation, and he's ready to go to war, and she is not. And part of that is she has the extra bit of context, right? He doesn't know about the dagger and the Song of Ice and Fire and all that jazz. So part of the reason she's so desperate to maintain at least some semblance of calmness and peace in this situation is because she doesn't want to tear the realm apart, because she believes that she is the one that has to unite the realm for the coming threat. She doesn't know when the threat is coming. So she believes part of her responsibility in this situation is maintaining some semblance of peace amongst the realm. And Daemon doesn't know about this. He was not told about this prophecy, and he gets angry when he hears about it, because part of his lifelong resentment for how his brother ruled, right, comes from that. So his brother got that inheritance of the prophecy and lived his rulership in accordance with that, right? That's part of the reason he was so desperate to, just maintain a peaceful kingdom. And that's one thing that he always hated about his brother, is he thought him weak. When he could retaliate against people, he didn't. And when he could show strength, he didn't. And Daemon, this whole time, has not realized the true reason behind why Viserys ruled that way. And now he sees it again in Rhaenyra, and he is angry. like he hated that about his brother. He doesn't want his wife to be that kind of ruler. And so when she brings up this prophecy, he gets angry. Part of that is, again, he doesn't want to see that weakness in her. And then I think part of it is when part of it is him realizing that this is something he was never made aware of, right? Which I think shows him that he was truly never even considered, never seriously considered by his brother to be the next in line. And that very much was probably something he had moved on from for the most part, right? I don't think he's been, upset that much about not being the one chosen for a long time. But I think there's a little bit of that left in him. And hearing that there was this secret prophecy passed down between the heirs, and that he had no idea about, is probably fairly upsetting, because it truly shows him that he was never even considered. And Rhaenyra, she's even a little surprised, right? She's like, oh, he never told you. And it's like, bro, a secret, it's one on its own, it's a secret that was kept from him, between his brother and his now wife, and it's a substantial one, but it's also a final confirmation. Maybe he sees it as a final insult from his brother that he was never going to be the heir. And then he F's off and he leaves to go find another dragon. And I'm very curious to see what's going to happen with that. Corlys wakes up, and he chooses to support Rhaenyra at the behest of his wife, because his wife has very much changed her opinion on Rhaenyra over the last couple episodes. And they have the stepstones, which is substantial. So that's going to be beneficial towards their fight. But then I think the real stuff that's going to carry forward through the rest of the seasons happens at the 45-minute mark and on, right? Where Rhaenyra has to send her sons off to deliver these messages. And they talked about how in the post episode, how that is very much her essentially having to say goodbye to the boys that she has considered her sons to be, and start thinking of them as men at this point. Like, they're no longer little boys that she can hold under her wing and protect them. Like, they have to go out and be themselves now. And like this little family that she has crafted for herself, where she can be herself, is starting to slip away from her. And it's really tough. It's gonna be something that completely changes her as a person going forward. We get Daemon interacting with this big dragon, which I guess at this point in the show, the dragon that Daemon is singing to and potentially trying to tame, either for himself or someone else, is, I think at this point, the third biggest dragon in existence. The first biggest being Balerion, the Black Dread, and the second biggest being Vhagar, and then this one's the third biggest. So pretty heckin' big dragons. So we'll see what happens with that. But then, yeah, Jace is going to the Eyrie and to Winterfell, which I believe is going to be like a more season 2 thing with him. I heard Cregan Stark is pretty cool. You know, people were very excited to potentially see that person going forward in season 2. But then, yeah, this situation with Luke, where he goes to remind Baratheon of his, you know, his promise and his oath, and just the confrontation there where he's like, oh, you're not going to marry one of my daughters? F off. Get out of here. Like, I'm not choosing you. Like, and Aemond starts some beef, and he's like, cut out your own eye. Oh, and he's got this sick blue ruby thing. Blue sapphire, maybe? I don't know. He's like, I'm ready to start a fight with you in this little room. Cut your eye out right now. And they're like, no, it's not happening. You get the hell out of here. And Luke has to just haul ass. Like, he's trying to get out of there because he's probably afraid for his life, right? And good thing his dragon is a little quicker than Vhagar. He can, you know, and smaller. He can kind of weave in between these rocks, and you think it's gonna go good, right? And then the two boys, who both, I guess, had no intention of killing each other in this situation, right? They talked about it in the post episode where obviously Luke is not trying to get in a fight right now. He very much will lose easily. And Aemond himself, well, he's trying to bully Luke and he's trying to harass him. They talk about how he has no intention of killing him in this moment because, you know, if usurping the throne was not the direct act of war, this definitely is. But the dragons themselves start this fight. Like, you have the dialogue of the boys. They're like both like, no, stop it. But he breathes fire on Vhagar, and then you think he might have gotten away. He's above the clouds, and you just know it's gonna happen, and it's instantaneous. Like, just how much bigger Vhagar is, just chomps him, just 2 bites essentially, and Luke and his dragon are ripped apart, just shredded into pieces within a second. And I think Aemond is like, oh shit. Like, he did not mean to do that, and he was actively trying to get Vhagar to stop, which I think is very interesting going forward, and I wonder how that's going to change his character going forward. But yeah, then Rhaenyra gets the news and is forever going to be a different person, right? They talked about in the post episode how Rhaenyra up to this point thought she knew what grief was, right? She had lost her parents, she had lost a lover. She thought that she was aware of what that is, but now she has lost a child, and she's now truly aware that she never knew what grief was before. And going forward, she is going to be a radically different person. So the queen, who was at this point willing and more so leaning towards a peaceful situation, right? Like leaning against war, I think is going to become a lot more ruthless going forward, because she's unaware of the context, right? She doesn't know that Aemond was trying not to kill her son. She just sees the situation as, they murdered my boy. So like, this is war now. Like, this is legit war. And having that contrast from the opening of the episode of her talking to her son and being like, I'm gonna be here for you to see you through this growth into a man, and then the end of the episode with her being the one that has grown into a more callous individual, and her son being dead. I think we are gonna see a radically different Rhaenyra going forward. But this episode was incredible. It was freaking amazing. It was, like, every single one of these episodes was an absolute banger. Like, I don't know, like this might be one of the better season ones of television in a long time. You know, I loved Rings of Power season 1. I thought that was wonderful, but I think this HBO just has something going on. They got something in the water over there. You know, season 1 of Westworld, season 1 of True Detective, season 1 of Game of Thrones, season 1 of House of the Dragon, like, their season 1s are just absolute bangers. Like, holy cow. And now it's gonna be like 2 years before the next episode comes out, and it's gonna be such a long wait. Like, I don't know how to process that, man. Overall, yeah, season was incredible. That the performances were wonderful. You know, for the first 5 episodes, Millie Alcock and Frick, who played young Alicent, they were fantastic, wonderful actresses. And then episode 6 and on, I think a lot of people were hesitant at first with Emma D'Arcy and their performance as Rhaenyra, but I think they really grew on everyone, including me. Like, I was on board right away with them, but the way that they have been able to captivate audiences as Rhaenyra is incredible. And then Olivia Cook as Alicent, making Alicent a lot more sympathetic of a character, I think, than people were expecting going in. With another incredible performance. Matt Smith as Daemon, fantastic. Like, so effortlessly cool and charismatic, while also like he's so freaking cool that he can do these awful things and people are like, yes. Like, cut that dude in half. Like, let's go. People's opinions of him might change a little bit this episode. I know some of the writers came out last week or whatever and were like, I don't know how people are a fan of Daemon. Like, he's an awful person. And this might reinforce it a little bit for some people. You know, choking Rhaenyra, not a great thing for him to do. But Matt Smith's performance as him, incredible. I know people were hesitant at first when they heard about the casting. They're like, oh, the guy that played the Doctor, the guy that, you know, was in Morbius, like, Matt Smith is who we're choosing? It's like, yeah, Matt Smith is who we're choosing. He's goated. Matt Smith is incredible. He crushed this role. Friggin', even though he's only in 8 episodes, Paddy Considine, oh, bro, give that dude an Emmy. He's so good. His performance was wonderful. And just, you know, the performances as a whole across the board were fantastic. I don't think there's a single bad performance in this entire series so far. Writing, fantastic. Just the way they're able to weave a lot of serious topics in and out of this it was friggin' dope. You know, lots of heavy stuff. And the tension that they're able to build every episode was fantastic. What else? Production value, fantastic. Everything looked great. Dragons looked great. What else? I don't know what else to say. Like, every episode had this like inherent sense of foreboding, right? Like things were about to come crashing down, like, or was on the precipice of that, like every episode it seemed like. And just even knowing that pretty much everyone involved is gonna die. and that, you know, eventually the House of Targaryen is gonna crumble, because we pick up Game of Thrones with there essentially being like 2 of them left after the war against the Baratheons and the Mad King and stuff. Like, we know that eventually like these people in this show pretty much all die, and then the line of succession kind of carries forward again, but it's never quite the same. And then it eventually all comes crumbling down 150 years later, with not a Targaryen on the throne, with Bran on the throne. But then there's the Jon Snow sequel series that is coming. I'm curious what they're gonna do with that. I wonder if they'll, you know, when they plan on airing that, when they plan on making any of that happen, and how it potentially could tie into episodes of this show. I mean, obviously they can't take place at the same time, but like you could see things, like they could plant things in this series that could come to fruition in the Jon Snow series. I don't know. I'm just very curious to see what they do with that. Overall, loved this. Loved it. Fantastic show. Very bummed that it's over for a while now, at least. But we got other good shows coming to take its place. We hopefully have the Wheel of Time coming some point. Who knows when that's coming? We got like a little bit of a teaser for it in a sense, but we haven't gotten like a trailer or anything. I feel like Amazon would be ripe to, or, you know, it would be a fantastic moment for Amazon to be like, hey guys, you know how both of those fantasy series that you're watching are now over? Well, here's another one coming in a month. Like, that would be a banger choice for them. We got there's tons of stuff that are still coming out that's gonna be dope. We got Guillermo del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosities coming up soon. Tales of the Jedi, Young Royals Season 2, 1899. Like, lots of good, high quality shows still coming. So lots to look forward to. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought of this finale, the season as a whole. I would love to hear your opinions. What do you think is going to happen going forward? One thing I like about this series is that they don't have to completely stick to what is written in the Fire and Blood book, because that is very much written from unreliable perspectives. So they can essentially do whatever they want, and they can go against book, they can go with book. So I'm very curious what you guys think is going to happen going forward. Yeah, let me know all your thoughts. If you enjoyed my reaction, please leave a like on the video. It means a lot to me, helps my channel out a ton. If you are new here or you find yourself coming back often, hit subscribe and ring the bell so you're notified when I upload, especially if you want to see me react to more shows or movies. And then if you are interested in seeing the full uncut version of this reaction, consider supporting me on Patreon. That's linked in the description below. Your support over there would mean the world. But otherwise, thank you for watching, and I will catch you guys next time.